the biggest minority you know about. I don't want to hear that gay trash, man. I got gay friends I've had on the show. Because you don't know them or it ain't who you want on the show, you got a problem with it?
Preserving the integrity of Black comedians should be a shared commitment, transcending racial boundaries. Figures like Arsenio Hall have exemplified this responsibility, striving to safeguard the reputation of Black comedians. However, recent reports suggest that Hall is disillusioned with his efforts, feeling that they've been futile due to individuals like Tyler Perry, who, in his view, undermine the progress made. For those who missed his influential era, Arsenio Hall is renowned as a stand-up comedian and actor who hosted a groundbreaking late-night talk show from 1989 to 1994. His show quickly became a sensation, offering a refreshing departure from the traditional late-night format.
Great show.
Come on, baby. Let's get nuts.
Arsenio Hall swiftly gained fame for revolutionizing late-night television with his relaxed demeanor and eclectic mix of guests. One of the most memorable features was Burton Richardson's drawn-out introduction, elongating the O in Arsenio before enthusiastically exclaiming, "Hall." This signature style, coupled with Arsenio's iconic stance, head bowed, hands clasped, legs forming an A, became emblematic of the show's laid-back charm. The Arsenio Hall show broke new ground, leaving an indelible mark on American pop culture. Its impact on music and its commitment to diverse representation resonated deeply, making it a cultural touchstone. By making late-night TV more inviting to a wider audience, it became a phenomenon of its time, with catchphrases and introductions etching themselves into the collective memory. Despite its absence from the airwaves for over 20 years, the Arsenio Hall show remains fondly remembered, its influence still evident in today's media landscape.
Again, how smart Arsenio was.
Smart enough to weather efforts by his competitors to keep big-name celebrities off his show.
Hall is often celebrated for revolutionizing the way the public perceived political candidates. One notable instance was when he welcomed then-unknown candidate Bill Clinton onto his show. In a spontaneous move, Hall invited Clinton to join the band and play the saxophone, a skill Clinton had honed in high school. Clinton enthusiastically accepted the challenge. Reflecting on this moment, Hall remarked, "I got a little bit of credit for showing him to a younger demographic, and I got a little credit for changing how people run for the highest office in the land." If the Arsenio Hall show had been around in 2016, it's plausible that the outcome of the presidential election could have been influenced, particularly considering its historical impact on Bill Clinton's campaign in 1992. Clinton's appearance on the show played a significant role in his ability to resonate with young voters and the urban community, including people of color. His charismatic performance, complete with shades and saxophone skills, helped him connect with a demographic that might have otherwise felt disconnected from politics. In contrast, Hillary Clinton faced criticism for what some perceived as pandering to the Black community during her campaign. Bill Clinton, often regarded as the closest thing to a Black president before Obama, had a unique ability to bridge gaps and appeal to a diverse audience. Had Hillary Clinton been given the opportunity to showcase her relatability on a platform like the Arsenio Hall show, perhaps her appeal to voters, particularly among young and urban demographics, would have been strengthened. The show's ability to humanize candidates and make them more relatable could have potentially impacted the election outcome. But Cochran's devotional explained that Hall had a much bigger and largely unacknowledged influence on global culture. Hall used his unapologetically Black late-night party as a platform to showcase talented musicians of color, including hip-hop artists who were then mostly unknown to white audiences. East Coast, West Coast, New Jack, crossover pop, they were all there. This was only about a year after Yo! MTV Raps hit the scene and a year before In Living Color and Fox's hip-hop-centric lineup, she tweeted. So there weren't many spaces to see our artists and our culture on mainstream TV. More evidence that diversity in entertainment matters. Cochran posted short clips of notable segments that will take you all the way back. Hall wasn't playing around. The bookers for the other late-night shows probably ain't even know what a Das F's or a Fushnicken was, she says. Arsenio did, though. Then she shared this clip of the late Luther Vandross, who was a guest on Hall's very first show along with Brooke Shields and Leslie Nielsen, and it took my breath away. Vandross dropped a quick a cappella version of Let Me Take You Home, a song that remains indelible on everybody's hippocampus and heart, and it was like he never left us.
My first musical guest was this man, and Marla, I know you know Like, this is what I wanted.
The song, with its themes of longing and intimacy, resonated deeply with listeners who were navigating their own emotions and desires. However, revisiting it now, they realized that Luther Vandross's longing stemmed from a vastly different experience than their own. Vandross, a closeted gay man, passed away in 2005, unable to witness the increasing acceptance and affirmation of LGBTQ+ individuals in society. According to a 2017 interview with his friend Patti LaBelle, Vandross chose to remain private about his ST, partly out of consideration for his predominantly female fan base, and primarily to avoid upsetting his mother. LaBelle shared this insight on the Bravo show Watch What Happens Live, shedding light on Vandross's personal struggles and decisions. Basically, he did not want his mother to be upset, although she might have known, but he wasn't going to come out and say this to the world. One can't help but wonder if Arsenio Hall, had his show continued, might have played a role in accelerating societal acceptance and understanding. Sadly, the show was canceled due to declining ratings. However, Queen Latifah orchestrated a heartfelt farewell segment where Vandross paid tribute to Hall, acknowledging his profound impact on both the show's audience and American culture at large. Vandross's words underscored the depth of affection and gratitude felt towards Hall, suggesting that his departure left a significant void in the fabric of American entertainment. People love this man so unconditionally, and he's been part of our lives and done so much for us, Vandross told the audience on Hall's final show. I'm sad to see you go because America is going to have a big chunk missing. During the early 90s, when many black comedians were heavily influenced by Richard Pryor, Arsenio Hall stood out by infusing his own brand of comedy with broad appeal. With his infectious smile, lively demeanor, and a perspective on life that resonated with audiences of all backgrounds, Arsenio managed to make his humor universally relatable. Throughout the initial 5-year run of his nationally syndicated show from 1989 to 1994, he provided a platform for the black community that was otherwise absent in late-night television, giving voice to issues and perspectives that were often overlooked elsewhere.
This is cable, so I can say it like I really felt. That's a plain motherfucker, boy. That's what I really felt, you know? Magic, you see.
During the era of Jay Leno, Johnny Carson, and Conan O'Brien, the Arsenio Hall Show played a crucial role in promoting artists of color to a broader audience. In the late 80s and early 90s, hip-hop culture had minimal representation, often confined to a 2-hour segment on Yo! MTV Raps. Despite acts like NWA and Tupac emerging as influential figures across genres, their visibility was constrained by the mainstream media's portrayal of them as controversial. However, Arsenio Hall provided a platform for black artists such as Eddie Murphy, Michael Jackson, Will Smith, and Snoop Dogg to express themselves authentically on national television without apology.
What do you hate most about show business?
I don't hate anything about show business. I don't hate it. I love what I do, and I love this business. I love it all.
Comedy serves as a powerful conduit for information, and Arsenio Hall's show stood out by not only spotlighting underrepresented entertainers, but also addressing pertinent issues affecting urban communities through entertaining and enlightening segments. Hall brought together prominent gangster rappers like Eazy-E, Ice-T, and NWA, some representing rival gangs, to perform We're All in the Same Gang, a powerful denouncement of gang violence. He also facilitated discussions on pressing issues, such as bringing Magic Johnson to address HIV stigma and inviting Louis Farrakhan to discuss the Nation of Islam and the legacy of Malcolm X. Amidst the backdrop of the LA riots and national attention on police brutality, Arsenio emerged as a beacon of positivity and unity within the black community. As competition intensified from programs like those hosted by Letterman, Leno, and the emerging Jon Stewart, the Arsenio Hall Show faced declining ratings, leading to its end in 1994. However, before its conclusion, the show made history by hosting an iconic hip-hop cypher featuring A Tribe Called Quest, MC Lyte, KRS-One, and other notable names who came together to bid Hall farewell.
And this is how we gonna do this. This is for you, Arsenio. Check it out.
Following his tenure as a talk show host, Arsenio Hall continued to thrive as a comedian and actor, notably co-starring with Eddie Murphy in Coming to America and lending his voice to Winston in the Ghostbusters cartoon, alongside various other television appearances. The anticipation was palpable when CBS announced the return of the Arsenio Hall Show in 2013. However, its brief revival underscored a sobering reality. Despite the passage of time, little had changed. Police brutality continued to dominate national discourse, and late late-night television remained predominantly the domain of cisgender white men. In 2013, Arsenio Hall returned to familiar territory, but still managed to stand out amidst competitors like Stewart, Colbert, and O'Brien. His devoted audience, affectionately known as the Dog Pound, continued to rally behind him with their signature fist-pumping woof, 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 woof. However, even with this loyal support, it wasn't enough to sustain his show. Despite its short-lived run, the second iteration of the Arsenio Hall show brought a much-needed fresh perspective to late-night television. While figures like Trevor Noah have since emerged on Comedy Central, their shows often still adhere to the narrative established by Stewart and Colbert. It's insufficient merely to provide representation for Black individuals in late-night programming if their perspectives aren't authentically rooted in the Black experience. However, now reportedly, according to him, tables are turning, and what he did is now diminishing by the dominant figures like Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry's ascent from the Atlanta theater scene to box office success with his Medea series is undeniable. However, his journey has been accompanied by controversy. There have been rumors of Perry's ego causing clashes, even with influential figures like Oprah. In the competitive realm of Hollywood, maneuvering without encountering controversy can be difficult, and it seems Perry has not been immune to such challenges.
When I'm hearing all this noise, man, it was crazy because there were no Black people on television. Before diversity became a thing, Tyler Perry was the only one out there for a long time.
After finding success at the box office, Tyler Perry expanded into television with his hit sitcom House of Pain. However, controversy erupted during negotiations for a syndication deal and a spin-off series titled Meet the Browns. Reports surfaced that Perry dismissed 4 writers who had sought union contracts, sparking a contentious situation within the industry. Writer Terry Jackson expressed disappointment, stating to Deadline, "We were good enough to create over 100 episodes, but now when it comes to reaping the benefits of the show being syndicated and having other spin-offs from it, he decides to let us go unless we accept a horrible offer." Tyler Perry responded to the writers' room dispute by asserting control over the creative process, stating that he would personally handle all writing duties. However, Perry's conflicts with unions extended beyond the writers' room. In 2015, actor unions SAG-AFTRA and Actors Equity took action by barring their members from participating in Perry's stage play Medea on the Run due to his production company's refusal to sign union contracts. While Perry may prioritize profit maximization, his approach has not garnered universal approval within the industry.
There's a camera on you, baby.
There's a camera on me right
back behind you.
Oh, hello, praise the Lord. We'd like to tell everybody in Dallas that we are on our way. Thank you.
In the wake of the success of House of Pain and Meet the Browns, African-American journalist and cultural critic Jamilah Lemieux penned an open letter to Tyler Perry, which was published by NPR. In her letter, Lemieux expressed her discomfort with Perry's use of stereotypes in his work. She wrote, "Through her, the country has laughed at one of the most important members of the Black community, Mother Dear, the beloved matriarch. I just can't quite get with seeing Mother Dear played by a 6'3" man with prosthetic breasts flopping in the wind. Our mothers and grandmothers deserve much more than that. Heck, our fathers and grandfathers deserve more. Mr. Perry, you have told the Hollywood old guard to kiss your backside, and I appreciate that, brother. But many Black folks have expressed some of the very same attitudes about your work that white critics have." Acclaimed film director Spike Lee is one of the notable figures who criticized Tyler Perry for his use of stereotypical characters in his work. Lee is well known for openly addressing this issue with Perry.
But I still think there a lot of stuff that's on today is coonery and buffoonery. And I know it's making a lot of money.
Spike Lee went on to suggest that because of these stereotypical movies, individuals like Tyler Perry were breaking records. In his view, the industry could do better by avoiding such biased and nonsensical movies that feature designated, one-dimensional characters.
Breaking records, but we could do better.
Tyler Perry's approach to casting and character portrayal has become noticeable to viewers, leading to discussions about his business strategy. Some individuals argue that Perry tends to cast dark-skinned actors in villainous roles, while portraying white-skinned individuals as heroes in his movies and shows. This perception has generated discussion and debate within his audience.
Pitiful Black woman being abused by a no-good, dark-skinned man, and then saved and rescued by the perfect light-skinned man.
During an event, Chris Rock also pointed out the recurring theme in Tyler Perry's movies, noting that there is often a limited portrayal of kind and respectful black-skinned boyfriends in Perry's films. He supported his statement by referencing Tupac Shakur, suggesting that Perry's films could offer a broader range of character representation. He said, Tupac might be a political leader if he was alive, but then again, Tupac might be in a Tyler Perry movie right now, so you don't know. Tupac might be the bad, dark-skinned boyfriend and the Tyler Perry movie. Chris Rock's point was that Tupac was a highly renowned and popular rapper during his time. However, if Tupac were given the opportunity to appear in a Tyler Perry movie, Rock believed there would be a minimal chance that Tupac would be cast as a heroic character based on Perry's typical casting patterns. He further went on saying, I would hope he's a senator, but he might be kicking Jill Scott down a flight of stairs. In Tyler Perry movies, there's always okay. Chris Rock's perspective aligned with Spike Lee's criticism, emphasizing that some prominent movies may achieve success because of Tyler Perry's perceived biased casting and storytelling choices. Both Rock and Lee raised concerns about the impact of such ideology on the film industry.
You know, are we going back to Mantan Moreland and sleep and eat?
Yet, if those films, I mean, we're talking about Tyler Perry.
Examining the entertainment industry reveals the prevalence of colorism within its ranks. Hollywood, in particular, has come under significant scrutiny, often through social media campaigns utilizing hashtags that swiftly transition from Twitter to mainstream news outlets. Some argue that Harvey Weinstein, a convicted SO, was among the first high-profile figures to cast a shadow over the industry. In 2017, numerous allegations of SA surfaced, shining a light on the darker facets of Hollywood's culture.
There's a new documentary that is all about the dark side of Hollywood and how some power players allegedly use their positions to prey on young, aspiring actors.
In the wake of the #MeToo movement controversy, numerous scandals rocked Hollywood. These scandals included comedian Kevin Hart stepping down as the Oscars host in 2019 due to the resurfacing of past homophobic tweets. Additionally, the #OscarsSoWhite campaign demanded increased diversity in the Oscars and greater recognition for people of color and marginalized communities. So Hollywood's reputation has been significantly tarnished, with the once illustrious Walk of Fame appearing more like an uninspiring walk of shame without stars.
Kevin Hart has stepped down from hosting this year's Oscars. He put out a statement on Twitter tonight saying, I have made the choice to step down.
In a February afternoon in 1940s America, actress Hattie McDaniel achieved a historic milestone by winning the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress in Gone with the Wind, 1940. Notably, she became the first African American to receive this prestigious film award. While celebrating her victory and leaving an indelible mark on cinema history, the joy was tempered by the stark reality that she would be segregated from the rest of the attendees at an Oscars ceremony that effectively operated as a whites-only event. Instead of being a celebration, this event was marked more by segregation than jubilation.
I sincerely hope I shall always be a credit to my race and to the motion picture industry. My heart is too full to tell you just how I feel.
80 years later, the film industry still grapples with a form of routine discrimination, despite some progress in increasing diversity. The 2020 Oscar ceremony was marred by racial controversies that have become all too common for both viewers and industry participants. Major snubs, such as the omission of Lupita Nyong'o for her outstanding performance in the 2019 film Us, exemplify this issue.
And the Oscar goes to Lupita Nyong'o.
And now it is in the form of movies and shows in which Tyler Perry is one of the major examples. And this is not hidden now, as we have seen in his movies, that black-skinned actors are always villains in his movies. One major example is Steve Harris, who played Charles McCarter in Tyler's one of the most classic movies, Diary of the Black Madwoman. He was a successful lawyer, but far from being an ideal husband. Shockingly, Charles discloses to his wife Helen the existence of another woman in his life and proceeds to treat her rudely, eventually kicking her out of their home.
You don't see it?
No.
You ain't good for nothing. Find my bank statement and get the accountant on the phone. Then call Calvin and tell him to get over here and you can leave.
The challenges of limited and stereotypical roles for Black actors seemed to persist into the 1990s. Blair Underwood recalled that during this period, virtually every Black actor and actress in Hollywood, regardless of their name recognition or skill level, found themselves auditioning for the same roles, highlighting the lack of diverse opportunities in the industry.
But I'm excited about this documentary. I've been a history buff like most of my life. I love history.
You do?
I don't know a lot about history, but I love.
Ion Overman also appeared as a negative character in one of Tyler's movies named Medea Goes to Jail as Linda Davis. Linda in the movie, an envious assistant district attorney who is engaged to Joshua. She secretly engages in illegal activities such as fraud, evidence tampering, and providing false legal documents involving some of the people she has prosecuted. Ron Rico Lee portrayed Chuck, an assistant district attorney and Joshua's friend in the film. Another actor, Brian White, was signed as a villain by Tyler Perry in his film I Can Do Bad All by Myself. He played the role of Randy, who is an abusive boyfriend and the antagonist of the show.
I see the way you've been looking at me. See, this here my house, and I can let you, two little nappy boys, stay here.
Right. You might notice that all the negative characters in Tyler's movies and shows are very abusive towards women. This thing has been very concerning, and many people raise their voices for this too. One such example was seen in his shows Bruh and Sistas. Bruh seems to revolve around the lives of 4 Black men as they navigate various aspects of their lives, including relationships, friendships, and careers. The synopsis suggests that these men share a deep and enduring bond that resembles family, even if they aren't related by blood. Their close-knit friendship is characterized by warmth and camaraderie, evident from their bright and happy smiles in the promotional material.
She moving in. She seemed nervous. I'm a little confused. Wait. Okay, take it back.
On the other hand, Sistas appears to focus on the lives of 4 single Black women. The tagline "single but never solo" suggests that the show may explore their experiences as they navigate the ups and downs of being single. However, the synopsis provided doesn't mention their friendships or careers, and the promotional image features separate pictures of the 4 women rather than them being together. The common thread among them seems to be their shared status as single women, and it's possible that the series will delve into their individual journeys in the dating world and beyond.
You want me? Look at me.
I'm looking.
Karen, I don't love you no more. I don't want to be with you no.
His other film, A Fall from Grace, was also criticized for colorism. The film A Fall from Grace tells the story of Grace Waters, portrayed by Crystal Fox, who decides to pursue love again after a painful experience with her ex-husband's affair. However, as she gets closer to her new husband, played by Mehcad Brooks, she uncovers dark secrets about him. Grace's vulnerability takes a dark turn, leading to her being accused of murder and fraud, ultimately landing her in jail. The film explores themes of love, betrayal, and the consequences of one's actions.
When you wake up, you don't know that today will be the day to change your life. Grace, please tell me what happened.
Tyler Perry's movies, including Acrimony, often generate discussions and debates on social media platforms like Twitter. Some viewers criticize Perry for repeatedly portraying the trauma that Black women experience at the hands of men in his films, while others argue that he is shedding light on real-life issues that many Black women can relate to. These debates highlight the impact of Perry's storytelling and his ability to provoke conversations around important topics. One of the internet users said, "Tyler Perry refuses to produce a show that doesn't involve the emotional torture and beating of the downtrodden Black women." Another one wrote, "Tyler Perry has literally went from sleeping in his car broke to having a net worth of $600 million, opening a huge studio in Atlanta to employ aspiring Black actresses and actors. So put some respect on his name. His movies tells the pain women go through." Critics of Tyler Perry argue that despite his contributions to the Black community, he should also be held accountable for his missteps. They highlight instances in his movies and television shows where Black women are portrayed in a negative light or subjected to unpleasant behavior. Some believe that Perry's works perpetuate respectability politics as the only path to happiness and success for his characters.
Manage it, grow it, through all the growing pains of it all. You've managed to do it all on your own, figuring it out and learning as you've gone, calling me a lot.
Additionally, there are concerns that he assumes a level of creative control that might overlook other talented Black and brown female writers and directors in the industry, as evidenced by his adaptation of Ntozake Shang's play For Colored Girls Who Have Considered considered S when the rainbow is enough. These criticisms reflect a desire for a more nuanced and responsible portrayal of characters and narratives in Perry's work.
You know, when you think about film and television, it's been done the same way for years. You know, you record an image and you put it out there. Well, just because it's been done that way for many, many years.
Not only actors, but Black comedians are also disgusted by Perry. Over the years, several Black comedians have incorporated cross-dressing into their comedy routines to elicit laughter. This choice involves juxtaposing their commanding presence with the humorous visual of them in dresses and heels. While this approach generates comedic moments, it also carries underlying implications. What are the consequences of using cross-dressing as a comedic tool in this context? As Dave Chappelle said,
certain dots, like when I see that they put every Black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career, I'll be connecting them down like, wow, these brothers gotta wear a dress.
Tyler Perry has not only achieved success in the gospel play arena, but has also effectively expanded his triumph into the film industry, bringing his unique portrayal to a broader cinematic audience.
No, it's a stage play. It's like Broadway, just with Black people.
Remarkably, Tyler Perry's latest book, Don't Make a Black Woman Take Off Her Earrings, even secured a spot on the prestigious New York Times bestsellers list. This raises an intriguing question. What lies beneath this phenomenon? Why do these artists choose to engage in acts that may appear to challenge traditional masculinity? And why does the audience enthusiastically embrace the spectacle of Black men in such situations? One perspective is that portraying Black masculinity in a more feminine context could potentially reduce the perception of threat and increase comfort for certain individuals. These cross-dressing depictions of Black men might serve as a counterbalance to the dominant and assertive image often associated with hip-hop culture.
Because this fucking industry is a monster.
Over the course of several years, Hollywood has been widely criticized for its role in perpetuating various stereotypes, which unfortunately shaped the public's perception of Black individuals for a significant portion of the audience. During this period, a debate emerged, suggesting that limited opportunities within the entertainment industry often pressured Black artists to accept stereotypical roles as a means of sustaining their careers and livelihoods.
A weak person cannot get to sit here and talk to you.
While the entertainment industry has not yet achieved full racial equality, contemporary performers do have a certain degree of agency over their choices. What remains intriguing in the context of these modern figures is their apparent willingness to take on cross-dressing roles, with Kevin Hart's name being particularly notable in this regard.
Pope Conventionate is lifting her arms into her signature muscle man pose.
Many individuals have voiced their opposition to witnessing more instances of Black men in dresses, arguing that this phenomenon has reached its saturation point. They contend that our society is already influenced by numerous factors that may undermine the perception of Black men's masculinity, and there's no need to further contribute to these forces in any way.
When things happen that can possibly affect your brand, your brand can be diminished, and you don't want that to happen. So, protecting my brand is definitely a priority.
It is indeed heart-wrenching that we are opposed to witnessing further instances of Black men in dresses. This phenomenon seems to have reached its limit, and our society already grapples with numerous factors that can undermine the perception of Black men's masculinity. We believe there's no need to contribute to these forces any further.
I was like, no, I'm gonna look stupid. At the end of the day, you gotta know that you're a brand.
And as compared to Tyler, Arsenio has done too much for the fellow comedians and supported them. Arsenio's impact on late-night TV remains palpable, as evidenced by appearances from groups like Migos on shows such as The Tonight Show and Ellen. While Arsenio may not be poised for a return to the late-night circuit anytime soon, his upcoming stand-up dates at Goodnight's Comedy Club promise to deliver a blend of uproarious stories and insightful life lessons from a trailblazing entertainer. That's it for today. See you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.